Good day to everyone, to all my subscribers, to all who are new to my channel. Welcome to today's edition of our mathematics presentation. Okay, the topic that we are going to discuss today is Mathematics 6, Quarter 1, Module 4, Dividing Simple Fractions and Mixed Fractions. Okay, let's take now into the role in dividing simple fraction. In dividing simple fractions, you need to multiply the dividend to the reciprocal of the divisor. What do you mean by reciprocal of the divisor? It will be the inverted form of the divisor, so we call it reciprocal. When we talk of reciprocal, numerator becomes the denominator, then the denominator of the fraction will become the numerator. So that is what we call reciprocal. We are going to invert the fraction. So interchange. Numerator becomes denominator, denominator becomes the numerator of the fraction. So this is the example. 3/4 divided by 3/5. So what does the rule says? We are going to invert or have the reciprocal of the divisor. Our divisor is 3/5. Therefore, 3/5 will become 5/3 or 5/3. From division, the operation will become multiplication. So we have 3/4, which is the dividend, to be multiplied by the reciprocal. So reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3 or 5/3. So we have now proceed to multiplication. From division, the operation becomes multiplication. That's why we do multiply 3 times 5, we have 15. 4 times 3, we have 12. So we have done the multiplication, because the rule says we will multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. So we have done the reciprocal. The result is 15/12. Now looking at our answer, we notice that numerator is bigger than the denominator. Therefore, it is an improper fraction. Now, if it is an improper fraction, you need to change this into a proper fraction. So how to do it? Okay, we have already done that in our previous topics, in addition of fraction, subtraction, fraction. Also in the multiplication of fraction. So you know already how to do changing improper fraction to proper fraction. We simply divide 15 divided by 12. Our result will be 1 and 3/12. Now, 1 and 3/12 is not in the lowest term, because 12 is still a composite number, and 12 is divisible by the numerator, which is 3. So if we are going to reduce the fraction, we will use 3 as our common divisor to reduce the fraction. So we have 3 divided by 3, we have 1. 12 divided by 3, we have 4. Therefore, our final answer is 1 and 1/4. That's the fraction in the lowest term. Take note that if we have to perform the operation, if we have our result, which is not the lowest term, we have to see to it that our answer should be reduced to its lowest term. Okay, let us now answer the assessment in your module. Okay, the instruction says divide and express your answer in the lowest term. So write your answer in your answer sheets. So this is taken from your module, particularly in your assessment. So we have items number 1, 6/9 or 6/9 divided by 2/5. So looking back into the rule in dividing fraction, according to the rule, we will multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. So we have 6/9 will goes into multiplication. We multiply 6/9 to the reciprocal of 2/5, which is 5/2. So we have already done the reciprocal. So we will proceed to multiplication. 6 times 5 will have 30. 9 times 2 we have 18. So again, our fraction is not a proper fraction. This is an improper fraction. Therefore, we need to change that into a proper fraction by dividing. We divide 30 by 18. So how many 18 are there in 30? There are only 1. If we have whole number of 1, 30 minus 18, we have a remainder of 12. The remainder of 12 will become the numerator of the fraction, and your divisor, which is 18, will become your denominator of your fraction. So our answer will be 1/12 over 18. Now, looking at your fraction, you will notice that this is not in the lowest term, because 12 is a composite number, 18 is also a composite number. Now, to reduce the fraction to its lowest term, we'll have to find for the GCF. Take note, we have already discussed this one on finding the GCF of the greatest common factor. That is how to reduce fraction to its lowest term. So we will get the greatest common factor of 12 and 18. So factors of 12, we have 4 times 3, 2 times 6. Factors of 18, we have 3 times 6, and 9 times 2. So we notice that the greatest factor for 12 and 18 is 6. So we will use 6 in dividing. Then the fraction will be reduced to its lowest term. 12 divided by 6 will give us 2. 18 divided by 6 will give us 3. So our final answer will be 1 and 2/3. Okay, let's go items number 2. 3/8 divided by 6/12. So again, 3/8 divided by 6/12, we will invert, or we will have the reciprocal of the divisor, 6/12. So it will now become 12 over 6. Okay, from division, the operation becomes multiplication. So 3/8 times 12 over 6, which is the reciprocal of 6/12. So it will now go to the multiplication. Numerator versus numerator, denominator times the denominator. 3 times 12 will have 36. 8 times 6 will have 48. So 36 over 48 is our answer. Now again, looking at the fraction, it is not in the lowest term. Both numbers are composite number, therefore we can still reduce this one to its lowest term. Again, looking into the rule in finding for the GCF, or greatest common factor, we look at the greatest number that can divide 36 and 48 exactly without any remainder. So their common factor is 12. This is the greatest common factor. 12 divided by 36 divided by 12 will give us 3. 48 divided by 12 will give us 4. Therefore, the fraction will now become 3 over 12, 3 over 4, or 3/4. Okay, let's go items number 3. 4 over 10 divided by 3/4. Again, we will do the reciprocal of the divisor. 3/4 becomes 4 over 3. So from division becomes multiplication. So we have 4 times 4 will give us 16. 10 times 3 will give us 30. So again, the fraction is not in the lowest term because both number are composite number. So you can still reduce this one. So we will have the factors of 16 and 30. So their common factors is only 2. No other similar and common factor for the two numbers. So we divide 16 by 2, we have 8. 30 divided by 2 will give us 15. So the lowest term of the fraction is 8 over 15. Okay, let's go items number 4. 1/9 or 1 over 9 divided by 8, 10 or 8 over 10. So again, we'll do the reciprocal. 18 will now become 10 over 8. So multiply that to the dividend. 1 times 10 will give us 10. 9 times 8 will give us 72. Fraction is 10 over 72. So 10 over 72 is not in the lowest term. We will look for their common factor, the GCF of the two numbers. So factors of 10 is only 2 times 5. 72 has so many factors, but the common factors of them will only be 2. So we will use 2 in reducing the fraction. 10 divided by 2, we have 5. 72 divided by 2, it gives us 36. So the fraction will now become 5 over 36. Okay, let's go items number 5. Okay, fraction is 2 over 12 divided by 38. So we will invert the divisor of 38. It will now become 8 over 3 to be multiplied to the dividend, which is 2 over 12. So 2 over 12 times 8 over 3, multiply the numerator, 2 times 8, we have 16. 12 times 3, we have 36. This is now our answer, the fraction, but not in the lowest term, so we need to reduce the fraction. Find the common factors. So we have only 4 is the common factor of 16 and 36. So we will divide 16 by 4, will give us 4. 36 divided by 4 will give us 9. Lowest term of the fraction is 4 over 9. Again, if you are to look into the way of how to get the lowest term by looking into the greatest common factor. Okay, we have videos that we have done previously, as we have addition of fraction, subtraction of fraction, and multiplication of fraction. I have already shown that example in the way how to reduce fraction to its lowest term. So just review on those videos if you happen not to master in getting into the lowest term of the fraction. Okay, let's have items number 6. 9 over 14 divided by 1/2. So again, we will have to invert the divisor, which is 1/2, and this will become 2 over 1. So we will multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. 9 times 2 will give us 18. 14 times 1 will give us 14. So the fraction will now become 18 over 14, an improper fraction. So we need to divide so that we will have to change the improper fraction to a proper fraction. So 18 divided by 14, our quotient will be 1. 1 times 14, 14. 18 minus 14, a remainder of 4. Then we will distribute the result. 1 will become the whole number. The remainder, which is 4, will become the numerator of the fraction. Divisor, which is 14, will now become the denominator of the fraction. So the result of changing 18 over 14 into a proper fraction is 4 over 14. Now, 4 over 14 is not in the lowest term, so we need to reduce this one. Look for the common factors of 4 and 14. Greatest common factor. We have only 2. Because 4 has only a factor of 2 times 2, 4 times 1. 14 cannot be divided by 4, so we reduce that into 2. 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. 14 divided by 2 will give us 7, so the fraction is 2 over 7, and we have the whole number of 1. So the complete answer is 2 over 7. We have items number 7. 3/4 divided by 3/5. 3/4 divided by 3/5, or 3 over 5. So we will do the reciprocal of 3/5. We have 5 over 3. So 3/4 times 5 over 3, we will multiply. 3 times 5, we have 15. 4 times 3, we have 12. Again, this is an improper fraction because numerator is bigger, so we will divide. How many 12 are there in 15? Of course, there are only 1. We have a remainder of 3. 3 becomes the numerator, and the divisor, which is 12, becomes the denominator of the fraction. Okay, looking at your fraction, your denominator, which is 12, is divisible by 3. So So we don't need to look for another number to reduce the fraction. So 3 will now become the common divisor. 3 divided by 3 will give us 1. 12 divided by 3 will give us 4. So the complete answer of your fraction is 1 and 1/4. Okay, number 8. 1/8 divided by 2/3. Again, 2/3 to be inverted or will be going into its reciprocal, become 3 over 2. So 1/8 times 3 over 2, multiply the numerator. 1 times 3 we have 3, 8 times 2 we have 16. Now 16 cannot be divided by 3, and 3 is a prime number, therefore we can no longer reduce this one. So this will become the answer. Items number 9. 1/3 divided by 1/2. Again, we will invert the divisor, which is 1/2. It will become 2 over 1. So 1/3 times 2 over 1. 1 times 2 becomes 2. 3 times 1 becomes 3. Answer will be 2/3. The 2/3 is already in the lowest term because there is no common factor for the two numbers except 1. So that becomes our final answer. Okay, let's go. Item number 10. Last number. 3/15 divided by 2/5. So 2 over 5 to be inverted. So this will become 5 over 2. So 3 over 15 times 5 over 2. Multiply 3 times 5, we have 15. 15 times 2, we have 30. So we have 15 over 30. Fraction not in the lowest term, because 30 can be divided by 15. So there is no need for us to look for another number because 30 can be divided by 15. So we will use 15. We will use this 15 to be our common divisor so that the fraction will be reduced to its lowest term. 15 divided by 15 will give us 1. 30 divided by 15 will give us 2. So this is now the fraction in the lowest term. Okay, that's all for today's video. To all my viewers, thank you for watching. Not forget to share, like, and subscribe my channel so that you will be updated for the next videos that I will be uploading. Thank you and God bless us all.